Hey guys, I know I said I was gonna do the Google, but I'm having issues with the Google Classroom right now. Some of you said the syllabus disappeared, and I'm not sure the file said it's missing, so I went ahead and I added it on the thread. I just copied and pasted it in case you need to see it. Okay, I'm sorry about that. So I'm sorry, a couple of you said you're having difficulty watching the Zoom. I'm not sure why, but unfortunately, it's back on Zoom because I can't figure out what's going on with the Google. All right. And I don't want to mess with it more because I don't want to lose any of the documents I need on Google. But don't worry, your assignments that you uploaded are fine. I checked it, that's still there. It's just for some reason the syllabus disappeared. And then it's being difficult about the uh yeah, it's being difficult about the syllabus where it went. Okay. All right, so just to review, okay, that was not what I picked. Okay. So to review the entrepreneurial mindset here, we discovered the entrepreneur cognitions, what makes people think the way they do, what features help them become successful entrepreneurs. And then we're going to consider cognitive concepts providing the most insight to understanding entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurial conditions, arrangement cognitions, willingness conditions, and ability cognitions.
As amazing as entrepreneurship is, not everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. This may stem from the preconceived and limited notions of what an entrepreneur is, or taking on new things may feel overwhelming for some. For those who do choose to take on new adventures to drive positive change, not everyone is able to succeed in achieving their goals. Why is that? What is the distinguishing feature that makes some entrepreneurs successful while others are not?
What do you think? False. It doesn't matter the traits.
Luckily, some wise individuals have been studying this and have found that with all of the characteristics, traits, timing, access to resources, and luck being the same, the key factor that differentiates entrepreneurs who are successful from those who are not are entrepreneurial cognitions.
Awareness by the mind of itself in the world, the mental action or process of acquiring knowledge and understanding through thought, experience, and senses, process of using one's mind to consider a reason of something or having knowledge of something aware. Awareness about the mind. That was a good one, but that's not the answer.
It is only fairly recently that entrepreneurship scholars have focused on cognitive skills as a primary factor that differentiates successful entrepreneurs from non-successful entrepreneurs and less successful entrepreneurs. This approach deals with how entrepreneurs think differently than non-entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurial cognitions are the knowledge structures that people use to make assessments, judgments, or decisions involving opportunity evaluation and venture creation and growth. In other words, research in entrepreneurial cognition is about understanding how entrepreneurs use simplifying mental models to piece together previously unconnected information that helps them to identify and invent new products or services, and to assemble the necessary resources to start and grow organizations. One group provided an example of how the decision to create a new venture was influenced by 3 sets of cognitions. They are described as follows. Arrangements cognitions. These are the mental maps about the contacts, relationships, resources, and assets necessary to engage in an entrepreneurial activity. Willingness cognitions. These are the mental maps that support commitment to venturing and receptivity to the idea of starting a new venture. Ability cognitions. These consist of the knowledge structures or scripts that individuals have to support the capabilities, skills, norms, and attitudes required to create a venture.
Okay, I know a great carpenter to work for your new general contracting company. What's that? Arrangement? I can't wait to get this nonprofit off the ground. Willingness? I've cut back on my work hours so I can focus more at home. Okay, good. Okay, ability and arrangement would be the opposite. Good. Arrangement. Ability.
According to Barron, by taking a cognitive perspective, we might better understand entrepreneurs and the role they play in the entrepreneurial process. The cognitive perspective emphasizes that everything we think, say, or do is influenced by mental processes. The cognitive mechanisms through which we acquire, store, transform, and use information. It is suggested here that this perspective can be highly useful in the field of entrepreneurship. Specifically, it can assist in the field in answering 3 basic questions it has long addressed. Why do some persons, but not others, choose to become entrepreneurs? Why do some persons, but not others, recognize opportunities for new projects or services that can be profitably exploited? And why are some entrepreneurs so much more successful than others? Barron illustrated how cognitive differences between people might explain why some people end up pursuing entrepreneurial pursuits, but others do not. Research into cognitive biases might also help explain why some people become entrepreneurs.
Okay. Good. Cognitive bias is a systematic pattern of deviation from the norm or rationality and judgment whereby individuals create their own subjective reality from their perspective of the input. Good.
Barron also revealed ways in which cognitive concepts like signal detection theory, regulation theory, and entrepreneurship might help explain why some people are better at entrepreneurial opportunity recognition. He also illustrated how some cognitive models and theories, like risk perception, counterfactual thinking, processing style, and susceptibility to cognitive errors, might help explain why some entrepreneurs are more successful than others.
Right. Good job. All right. Here's a little video about entrepreneurship.
The ability to identify opportunities is among the most important skills successful entrepreneurs have, thus making this topic particularly important for entrepreneurship research. While higher levels of knowledge, such as those that come from education, seem to facilitate opportunity recognition generally, different types of knowledge trigger the recognition of different types of opportunities. For example, if you have knowledge related to nature, this can trigger identification of environmental opportunities. Or if you have knowledge related to international markets, this can facilitate the identification of opportunities abroad. Knowledge related to opportunity recognition can be internal to the entrepreneur, but it can also be provided by external sources, such as venture capital investors.
All right, let's see. Which ones are sources? All of the above? I don't see why not, considering they're all very helpful. Yeah, good job.
Moreover, it appears that entrepreneurs' prior knowledge plays an important role in the cognitive process of structural alignment, in that it connects the known with the unknown, and in doing so can facilitate opportunity recognition.
Connecting to know the unknown is required for starting entrepreneur opportunity. True? False. Not everybody knows the known.
In addition to prior knowledge, researchers have identified motivation, the behavior triggering force which directs behavior and increases persistence with the course of action, as an important antecedent of opportunity identification. One group found that while some motivators appear to trigger entrepreneurial action more generally, for example, having financial rewards or possessing certain individual values, other types of motivation seem to stimulate a specific type of entrepreneurship. For example, empathy can motivate entrepreneurial action targeted towards developing societies. Interestingly, the inability to pursue a career as a salaried employee, either due to an injury or psychological disorder or something else, can also stimulate entrepreneurial motivation. Finally, a key finding is that the effects of prior knowledge and those of motivation as described in this section do not seem to be independent of each other, but can conjointly motivate entrepreneurial action.
Right, is it true? Both statements are true, that's right, good job. Motivation's a reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving, in particular way. Motivation is a general desire or willingness for someone to do something.
Attention refers to a non-specific and limited cognitive resource that is required for mental activities and differs across individuals and tasks. While all of our attention is a limited resource, where we allocate attention influences several aspects of the entrepreneurial process, including environmental changes and the recognition, evaluation, and exploitation of opportunities. Research shows that there are several factors at the individual, organizational, and environmental levels that explain how entrepreneurs allocate attention, and that cognitive processes, particularly metacognition, impact individuals' attention allocation and thereby entrepreneurial outcomes.
Is that true or false? True? Good, yeah, they said metacognitive outcomes. So that's awareness and understanding one's own thought process. Good job.
Identity refers to the meanings that individuals attach to themselves and is often understood to answer the question, who am I? An entrepreneurial career provides multiple opportunities for individuals to develop a meaningful and unique self-identity that reflects the characteristics and traits discussed earlier in the course. To balance the fulfillment of the basic need to be distinct with the basic need to belong, entrepreneurs can apply integration or compartmentalization strategies to manage their work-related and non-work-related micro-identities. It is also important to note that traumatic events can disrupt one's occupational identity, and that entrepreneurship as an alternative career may help reconstruct it, and in doing so help individuals recover emotionally and psychologically. Entrepreneurship is a highly emotional endeavor. It has often been portrayed as an emotional roller coaster with multiple ups and downs that impact entrepreneurs' emotional experiences. Emotions not only play a key role in understanding entrepreneurs' opportunity exploitation decisions, but they also impact the motivation of employees to engage in entrepreneurial action. Particularly when entrepreneurial projects within an organization fail, employees often experience substantial negative emotions, which can diminish motivation and learning from the failure experience. On the upside, These effects are contingent on the organizational environment normalizing failure, as well as individuals' coping orientations, self-efficacy, and self-compassion.
All right. That was review from last time we met. Creativity, innovation, entrepreneurship. It's really important because nowadays you have to think about what I'm doing different than someone else. If I'm a restaurant, what kind of restaurant am I going to open up? Italian, Mexican, Asian, uh, American? Am I gonna do something that's just for locally for my area? Like California would be Baja, Texas might be Texas Mex. Maybe you're gonna do like an Asian fusion thing. Where you're gonna have different kinds of Asian food. So you have to think about what is making you different. Are you gonna have a coffee shop? Are you gonna be offering different flavors? Maybe different types of milk? Regular milk, low fat milk, oat milk, almond milk, soy milk. I've even seen like hemp milk at some places. So the entrepreneurial creativity innovation is really important. You have to go with the flow. If for some reason your place is not open to the public, are you going to make it to go? During COVID, a lot of restaurants had to do that. They had to do it to go. They had to make connections with Uber Eats. They had to have their people become drivers and take it to people. Or they just had it to go. Or maybe if you order it and they take it to your car. So systematic innovation involves monitoring 7 sources of the innovative opportunity. The first 4 are internally focused within the business or industry, and they may be visible to those involved in the organization or sector. The last 3 involve changes outside the business or industry. We have internally focused, the unexpected or unexpected success, failure, outside events. We have incontinuity between reality as it actually is and reality it's assumed to be or ought to be. Innovation based on process need, changes in industry structure or market structure that catch everyone's awareness. Externally focused, demographics, population changes, changes in perception, mood, and meaning. New knowledge, both scientific and non-scientific. We have Mitchell, one of the components of Mitchell's 2000 new venture template, asked whether the venture being examined represents new combination. To determine this, he suggests considering 2 categories of entrepreneurial discovery: scientific discovery and circumstance. Scientific discovery is physical or technological insight, new and valuable way. We have circumstantial discovery, specific knowledge of time, place, and circumstance, when and what you know. The second set of variables considered is the market imperfections that can create profit opportunities, excess demand, and excess supply. This gives rise to the following 4 types of entrepreneurial discovery. Invention, 1, uses science to exploit excess demand, a market imperfection, becomes the opportunity to discover and apply the laws of nature to satisfy excess demand. Innovations in one industry have a ripple effects on others. Example is invention of an airplane. Observation and circumstances reveal an opportunity to exploit excess demand, a market imperfection, not necessarily science orientated. Example is airline industry, a need for food service for passengers. Invention 2, uses science to exploit excess supply, market imperfection. Example, Second most abundant element on Earth after oxygen is silicon microchips. Coordination. Circumstance reveal. An opportunity to exploit excess supply. A market imperfection. Example, producers' capacities to lower prices is Walmart. Schumpeter's 1934, 5 kinds of new combinations can occur within each of the 4 kinds of entrepreneurial discovery. Mitchell 2000 says, new or improved good or service. The distinction between true advances and promotional differences. A method of production. Example, assembly line, method to automobile production, robots, robotics, agricultural process, opening a new market, global context, culture, laws, local buyer preferences, business practices, customs, communication, transportation, all set with the distribution channels. Example, Honda created a new market for smaller, modestly powered motorbikes. Conquest of the new source of supply of raw materials. Enhance a bit availability of products by providing at a lower cost. Enhance availability by making more available without compromising quality. Reorganization of an industry. Murphy 2011 claimed that there was a single dimensional logic that oversimplified the approach taken to understand entrepreneurial discovery. He was bothered by the notion that entrepreneurs either deliberately search for entrepreneurial opportunities or they surreptitiously discover them. Murphy's 2011 multidimensional model entrepreneur discovery suggests that opportunities may be identified through purposeful search. Because others provide opportunity for the entrepreneur through knowledge, prior knowledge, entrepreneurial alertness, and means other of purposeful search, and through the combination of lucky happenstance and a deliberate searching for opportunities. Vesper, according to experimentation research, entrepreneurial creativity is not correlated with IQ. People of high IQs, they can become successful in business, and those with lower IQs can be successful as entrepreneur. Research also shown that those who practice idea generation techniques can become more creative. The best ideas sometimes come later than the idea generation process, often the days and weeks following the application of the idea generating process. Vesper 1996 identified several ways in which entrepreneurs found ideas: prior job, recreation, chance event, answering discovery questions. Although would-be entrepreneurs usually don't discover ideas by deliberate searching strategy except when pursuing acquisitions of ongoing firms, it's nevertheless possible to impute to their discoveries some implicit searching patterns. Vesper 1996 said that. Vesper 1996 categorized discovery questions as follows. Search questions, which might prompt venture ideas by placing one's mind into a mode where subconsciousness will work to push ideas of conscious mind. What is bothering me and what might reveal the bother? How would it be made or done differently than it is now? What else might I have? How can I follow the family tradition? Questions based on encounters with potential customer request, somebody else's idea or another event. Can I play somebody's role in providing a product or service in a broader market? Could there be a way to do it better than the customer? Questions based on evaluative reactions to the ideas. Could I do this job better instead of my own employee? If people elsewhere went on this idea, might they want it too? Vesper 1996 also highlighted several mental blocks to departure. He suggested that generating entrepreneurial ideas involved 2 tasks. To depart from what the usual and customary and to apply an effective way to direct this departure. The mental blocks in the way of departure include the following. Perceptual blocks, difficulty viewing things from different perspectives, seeing only what you expect to see and think when others expect to see. Emotional blocks, intolerance of ambiguity, preference for judging rather than ideas, tunnel vision, insufficient patience. Cultural blocks, a belief that reason and logic are superior to feeling and intuition and other such approaches. thinking that tradition is preferable to change, disdain for fantasy, reflection, idea playfulness, and humor, imagination blocks, fear of subconscious thinking, inhibition about some areas of imagination, environmental blocks, distrust what others might be able to help, distractions, discouraging responses from other people, intellectual blocks, lack of information, incorrect information, weak technical skills in areas such as financial analysis, expressive blocks, poor writing skills, and ability to construct prototypes. Understanding these mental blocks can departure the first step in figuring out how to cope with them. Some tactics to departure include the following, Vesper 1996. Trying different ways of looking at and thinking about venture opportunities. Trying to continually generate ideas about opportunities and how to exploit them. Seeking clues from business contracts, trade shows, technology licensing, offices, and other sources. Not being discouraged by others' negative views because the successful innovations were thought to be possible to make. Very possible solutions to obstacles before stating negative views about them. Using idea-generated tricks like brainstorming, considering multiple consequences of possible future events or changes, rearranging, reversing, expanding, shrinking, combining, altering ideas, and developing scenarios.
The Hasso-Plattner Institute of Design at Stanford University, called the D School, is an acknowledged leader at promoting design thinking. Design thinking is a deeply human process that taps into abilities we all have, but get overlooked by more conventional problem-solving practices. It relies on our ability to be intuitive, to recognize patterns, to construct ideas that are emotionally meaningful as well as functional, and to express ourselves through means beyond words or symbols. Nobody wants to run an organization on feeling, intuition, or inspiration alone, but an over-reliance on the rational and the analytical can be just as risky. Design thinking process is best thought of as a system of overlapping spaces rather than a sequence of orderly steps. There are 3 spaces to keep in mind: inspiration, ideation, and implementation. Inspiration is the problem or opportunity that motivates the search for solutions. Ideation is the process of generating, developing, and testing ideas. Implementation is the path that leads from the project stage into people's lives.
Right, so oh, I have a video for you. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Remember, sometimes they remove the videos when I post them on the YouTube. Oops, it's not showing. Let me try it again.
Global Entrepreneur Program of ISEC is a global internship opportunity for young people who seek to develop themselves and implement their ideas by working in a startup. Every year, thousands of young people all around the world are having internship experience abroad in a startup with Global Entrepreneur Program for 6 to 12 weeks. This 6 to 12 weeks of experience is going to allow you to discover the entrepreneurship ecosystem and have an internship experience abroad and enrich your resume and learn the fundamentals of a startup in a global environment.
Mervyn is a young entrepreneur who knows how to get things done. He inherited Marge, a cow that his grandpa always said was one very smart and special cow. Marge loves Mervyn very much and gives him lots of milk from which he makes delicious cheese. Everyone loves Mervyn's cheese and his business is going well. However, Mervyn is not happy. Over the years, he has noticed his country becoming more and more impoverished. Unemployment is high and everybody is leaving in pursuit of a better future. Seeing Mervyn so sad, Marge decides it's time to help him and his country. She reveals to him the concept of social entrepreneurship. It's like any other entrepreneurship where your product is placed on the market and profit is generated. However, the profit is not used exclusively to enlarge the wealth of the business's owner, but instead is reinvested in order to increase the quality of life and well-being of the entire community. Business success is also measured in terms of positive social and ecological impact. Suddenly, everything was clear to Mervyn, and he became a social entrepreneur. With his newly found business management knowledge, he is now able to successfully balance economic, social, and environmental goals. Social entrepreneurs identify social problems and use entrepreneurial skills to achieve positive changes such as environmental protection and conservation, job creation, meeting public, cultural, and health needs, the inclusion of the most vulnerable members of the community, and so on. With his example, Mervyn has shown us that changes are possible and that the power is in our hands. If you want to achieve something larger than plain profit, then find out more about social entrepreneurship and learn how you can positively affect your community while maintaining a steady income. And remember, by doing good for your community, you're doing good for yourself.
All right. Next one.
Mervyn is a young entrepreneur.
Are you looking to start your own business? Well, look no further than Busy.com. Right now, we'll complete your LLC.
What makes someone an entrepreneur? Am I an entrepreneur? Are you an entrepreneur? Do I know any entrepreneurs? Is it genetic? Can I catch it? Is it fatal? Wait, what? The word entrepreneur seems to be thrown around everywhere for everyone doing anything. It's used to describe celebrities and business tycoons like Beyonce, Elon Musk, Marie Kondo, and Jessica Alba. But your brother who keeps bringing up his idea for coffee-flavored toothpaste might make the list too. Entrepreneurs pop up in all types of industries and can have widely different backgrounds. Some build personal brands, while others work tirelessly on a physical product that they believe in. Really, anyone can be an entrepreneur, given an idea and the right tools to develop it into a functional business. Together, we'll develop our business acumen and learn the importance of grit, determination, and a fair bit of luck. I'm Anna Akana, and this is Crash Course Business Entrepreneurship. Some people define an entrepreneur with buzzwords like trailblazing, innovative, problem-solving, passionate, and on and on. These might all be traits that entrepreneurs can strive for. But at its core, an entrepreneur is someone who sees a need and takes on the financial risk to start a business to fill that need. That may sound kind of vague, but that's kind of the point. There is no cookie-cutter entrepreneur, unless you start a business to sell cookie cutters, in which case, yes, there is a cookie-cutter entrepreneur. Your idea might take the form of a physical product in a physical store called a brick-and-mortar business. In Montana, Charlie and Barbie Beaton of Big Dipper Ice Cream took their passion for locally made ice cream from one shop in downtown Missoula to appearing on Good Morning America. Damn. Or instead of a tangible product, your venture might be a national empowerment network. Girl Boss New Zealand was founded by 20-year-old Alexia Hilbertidou after she was the only woman in her upper-level physics class. Her goal is encouraging high school-age women to pursue STEM and leadership careers. Or you might set your sights on an international online media empire, like Ariana Huffington, the founder and namesake of HuffPost. She founded her site with partners as a friendly alternative to news aggregators, and she eventually sold it to AOL in 2015 for $315 million US. Get it, Ari? It's clear that entrepreneurs come in all flavors. I mean, according to the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor, over 100 million businesses are launched each year. That is 11,000 per hour, or 3 new businesses per second. There they go. So instead of just defining who is an entrepreneur, since it is such a wide scope, we can instead narrow down our definition by understanding who is not one. Let's go to the thought bubble. Say Congress works for Meow, a feline health and fitness company. He notices a need, a shocking lack of cat transportation, and comes up with the idea for the cat cycle, which he pitches to his boss. Meow immediately sends the cat cycle into production because it's a genius idea, obvi, and it flies off the shelves. Even though Congress is using an entrepreneurial mindset, by our definition, he isn't an entrepreneur yet. The company, Meow, actually took the financial risk to develop, produce, and sell the cat cycle. Meanwhile, Beetle sees the same need for cat transportation and sketches out the cat board in his personal idea notebook after work. He's gained valuable experience working for Meow and develops the cat board in the evenings and on weekends before striking out on his own. Using his personal savings, Beetle commissions a prototype that he shops around to local stores. A few are interested and he sets up contracts with them. As his sales begin to grow, Beetle creates new designs, but he doesn't pay attention to what his customers like or dislike about the cat board. Because he failed to make valuable improvements to the cat board for his customers, sales plummet. It's a tough decision, but Beetle cuts his losses and sells his cat board designs to Meow, which revamps his idea as the dog board. Beetle is an entrepreneur because he saw a need and took the financial risk to fill it. It didn't go so well because he didn't incorporate customer feedback, but now he knows where he went wrong and won't make the same mistake in his next entrepreneurial endeavor. Thanks, Thought Bubble. For a while, the classic story of an entrepreneur was someone who created one business that became a long-term project, like opening a new restaurant or founding a tech startup to make flashy phone games. But that is not the whole picture anymore. There has been a shift in the global job market that has opened the door for entrepreneurship to become more mainstream. Specifically, I'm talking about the rise of the gig economy. Contract work, called gigging, is becoming more popular and taking up more of the labor market. And I don't just mean gigs like musicians and comedians hopping between open mic nights. Instead of a long-term relationship where employees are paid salaries by the hour or year, businesses are temporarily hiring people for specific projects. This shift has made it financially easier for entrepreneurs to find people to get their businesses going without committing long-term to paying employees. And it's allowed early-stage entrepreneurs to find flexible work to support themselves as they develop their product or service. This doesn't mean everyone in the gig economy is an entrepreneur. It's just given more people the opportunity. So a more traditional path might be joining an accounting firm right after college and working 9 to 5, Monday to Friday until you retire, or die of boredom. Spreadsheets for life? No thank you. Some people might feel fulfilled with that kind of steady employment, and the stability that comes from being a salaried employee with health insurance can be incredibly valuable. Others, like us entrepreneurs, might itch for more independence. In the gig economy, you can have a couple of ways to make money, in addition to or instead of that 9 to 5 job. And you can go online to look for gigs from anywhere, not just your real-life community. So you might consult for a network of women small business owners on their day-to-day accounting, create vlogs with tax software tips, or sell unicorn hats. on Etsy that are knit out of the softest fabric there is. On the plus side, this allows workers to build robust portfolios of work and find fulfilling gigs. Having separate jobs can also provide a stronger sense of income security than one full-time job. Even if you lose one, you're still making money. All hail the side hustle. Today's entrepreneurs are well suited for the gig economy because we know how to hustle. We're independent thinkers who are comfortable with developing our own diverse income streams, marketing ourselves, and connecting with others. I mean, who has not had a Lyft driver who moonlights as a cinnamon roll artisan, right? But there are still problems with the gig lifestyle. Sure, someone might become a Lyft driver to help fund their sugary dream, but they're almost certainly not doing it because driving strangers around is their passion. For some people, participating in the gig economy is a necessity, not a choice. Scrambling to pay rent and afford food is another reason to have a bunch of gigs. And depending on the country and government, gig workers can have fewer legal protections, like mandatory breaks and standardized pay, or they might have a harder time maintaining insurance and retirement accounts. This makes some countries more attractive to entrepreneurs, such as New Zealand, Singapore, and Denmark, based on the World Bank's annual analysis of the ease of doing business. But even in those countries, there's a difference between legally being able to take a break and actually taking a break. It can be a struggle to turn off the hustle, especially for those of us trying to create a personal brand with our art or online presence. But taking time for fun hobbies and spending time with your friends and family are very important parts of being successful and so necessary to staying mentally healthy. Trust me. So it's not all blue skies and rainbows. But if you ever wanted to be an entrepreneur, the gig economy has made it more possible now than ever. Even still, entrepreneurship is not easy. Taking a financial gamble is stressful, and so is working long hours to try and get a project off the ground. I know for me, the lack of structured work time often means that my business has no off time at all. And if I'm not careful, I can just work myself around the clock and get very exhausted. But tons of us take the leap to start a new business and stick with it through the ups and the downs. So, what exactly keeps us motivated through those downs? At the top of the list is freedom. Entrepreneurs get to be their own bosses. This can mean setting your own hours, deciding on your dress code, or the lack of. I mean, sweatpants all day, every day, am I right? I mean, maybe you want to work from bed or while you travel, writing emails by the pool. And for traditionally underrepresented groups in business, like women, people of color, or the LGBTQ+ community, ding, 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 I'm all those things, it can mean defining your own destiny. You can create an inclusive company culture and work environment rather than feeling stuck in an uncomfortable or even possibly illegal situation with a boss or coworker. If someone keeps talking over you and dismissively says women can't be funny, you don't need to hire them for your writer's room or film set. Or if a coworker from a previous job got fired for having a natural hairstyle, you can create a business where that would never happen. You wield the power. A study in the Social Science Research Network Journal found that entrepreneurs start companies because they mostly believe that 1. They are inherently more valuable than how they appear on paper. 2. They are wasted working for someone else. 3. Their resumes don't show the real them. 4. Large companies can't appreciate their full potential. And finally, they are capable of turning their internal value into real-life money. Basically, entrepreneurs believe in themselves. And sure, building self-confidence over time isn't always easy, but it can be a powerful motivator. And then there's potential wealth. Yes, there is financial risk in starting a business, but there is money in running a successful one. Entrepreneurial lore is full of rags to riches tales, where people pitch the next Snapchat and are launched into the business stratosphere. Like Oprah Winfrey has said, she spent her early childhood wearing overalls made of potato sacks, but she became North America's first Black multi-billionaire and queen of the daytime talk show. Sure, this is the stuff of inspirational posters, and not everyone can make it this big. But entrepreneurship does create a culture of opportunity that might work for some non-traditional workers. Of course, every entrepreneur with a massive success has also had hundreds of failures. Yeah, I know, the dreaded F word. Lean Startup Methodology is basically the globally recognized guidebook for entrepreneurs created by Steve Blank and Eric Ries. And it says that stumbling is perfectly fine if we learn as we go. But to identify and learn from failures, every entrepreneur has to ask themselves, what does success look like to me? Is it earning $30,000 a year in your food truck and skiing every weekend? Is it selling your idea for $1 million? Is it becoming the CEO of a mid-sized media production company and writing novels on the side? Thanks for hiring us, Hank. Also, where is the sequel and when can I star in the movie adaptation? Or is it owning 6 cats and producing your own films? Whatever success is, it's entirely up to you. Of course, no one wants to fail, but together we'll learn how to redefine failure and pick up the pieces if it's truly unavoidable. It's not that successful entrepreneurs never faced failure, it's that they didn't quit. So the bottom line is, anyone can be an entrepreneur with a little grit, determination, and luck. And remember, you may have stopped believing in unicorns, but they've never stopped believing in you. Next time, we'll talk about that fundamental piece at the core of any entrepreneur, their ideas, where ideas come from, who to take them to, and how to turn them into feasible businesses. Thank you so much for watching Crash Course Business, and thank you to Thought Cafe for the beautiful graphics you just saw. If you want to help keep Crash Course free for everybody forever, you can join our community on Patreon. And if you want to learn more about labor markets, check out this Crash Course Economics video.
Oops.
Whether it's the classic
All right, so that's from the Business Entrepreneur Crash Course YouTube link. So it's really great. If you have a chance, I suggest you watch all of those. But yes, creativity is really important when it comes to entrepreneurship, especially in today's time when you're competing against people, not just in your community, but maybe in the counties next door, in other states, in other countries. It always seems impossible until it's done. Nelson Mandela said that. Creativity is defined as a tendency to generate or recognize ideas, alternatives, or possibilities that may be useful in solving problems, communicating with others, and entertaining ourselves and others. Creativity is the ability to come up with new ideas and identity, new and different ways of looking at problem and opportunities. A process of assembling ideas by combining elements already known but wrongly assumed to be unrelated to each other. This definition has several key elements that are worth considering. Process. Creativity is also a process implying, among other things, that is more like a skill than an attitude, and you get better at it with practice. Creativity results in ideas that have potential value. Recombining the creative process is won by putting things together in unexpected ways. 3 reasons why people are motivated to be creative. They need novel, varied, and complex stimulation. They need to communicate with others and values, need to solve problems. In order to be creative, you need to be able to view things in a new way from different perspective. Among other things, you need to be able to generate new possibilities or new alternatives. Tests of creativity measures not only the number of alternatives that people generate, but also the uniqueness of those alternatives. The ability to generate alternatives or to see things uniquely does not occur by chance. It is linked to others more fundamental qualities of thinking, such as flexibility, tolerance, or ambiguity, or unpredictability, and the enjoyment of things herefore unknown. Thus, the creativity and development of ideas about products, practices, services, or procedures are novel and potentially useful to the organization. Creative process, we have opportunity or problem recognition. Step 2, immersion. Step 3, incubation. Step 4, insight. Step 5, verification application. Steps in the creative process, opportunity or problem recognition. A person discovers a new opportunity exists or a problem needs resolution. Immersion, the individual concentrates on the problem and becomes immersed in it. He or she will recall and collect information that seems relevant. Dreaming up alternatives without refining or evaluating them. Incubation, the person keeping the assembled information in mind for a while. He or she does not appear to be working on the problem actively. However, the conscious mind is still engaged while the information is steaming. It is being arranged in meaningful new patterns. Insight, the problem constituting solution flashes into a person's mind at an unexpected time, such as the verge of sleep, during a shower, or while running. Insight's also called the aha or eureka experience. Verification and application. An individual set to prove creative solution as merit. Verification procedures involve gathering supporting evidence, local persuasion, experimenting new ideas. Personality traits of creative people. They have persistence. They have self-confidence. They have independence. Attraction to complexity. Tolerance of ambiguity. Intuitiveness. Have broad interest. Are energetic. Drive to achieve. Love their work, take risk. Barriers to creativity. Excessive focus on intrinsic motivation. Limits set by superiors. Critical evaluation. Flows controlling supervision. Competition in a win-lose situation. Control of decision making. Control of information. Blindly following the rules. Constantly being practical. Becoming overly specialized. Fearing looking foolish. Fearing mistakes and failure. Nepreneurship. Process of identifying and starting business venture. Sources and organizing the required resources and taking both the risk and rewards associated with venture in the internet. Some examples could be like Mark Zuckerberg with Facebook, Brian Action with WhatsApp, Ravish Oras with Ola Cups, Jacken Benzel with Flipkart, Kunal Bal with Snapdeal. Innovation is the implementation of new ideas at the individual, group, or organizational level. The process of intentional change made a creative value by meeting opportunity and seeking advantage. Process innovation is that process implying among other things, can be learned and managed. Intentional. Process is carried out on purpose. Change, it results in some kind of change. Value, the whole point of change is to create value of economy, society, and or individual lives. Opportunity, opportunal individuals enable tomorrow's value creation by exploring for today, having ideas, turning ideas into marketable insights, and seeking ways to meet opportunities. Advantage, at the same time, they also create value by exploiting the opportunities they have at hand. Types of innovations. There are distinct types of innovation. These are as follows. Invention, described as creation of a new product, service, or process, something that has been tried before. Extension, the expansion of existing product, service, or process. This would mean the entrepreneur takes an existing idea or applies it differently. Duplication, copying and replicating existing product or service and then adding an entrepreneur's own creative touch in order to improve it. Synthesis, a combination is more existing products or services to the new product or service. This means different ideas are combined to make a new product or service. Innovation process, analytical planning, carefully identifying the product or service, design as well as resources that will be needed. Resource organization, obtaining required resources, materials, technology, human or capital resources. Implication, applying resources in order to accomplish the plans. Commercial application, the provision of value to customers, reward employees, or satisfy stakeholders. 5 myths of innovation. Innovation is planned and predictable. Technical specifications could be thoroughly prepared in advance. Creativity relies on dreams and blue sky ideas. Big projects will develop better innovations than smaller ones. Technology is a driving force of innovation and success. Creativity, innovation, entrepreneurs. Creativity is thinking new things. Innovation is doing new things. Creativity is ability to develop new ideas and to discover new ways of looking at problems and opportunities. Innovation is the ability to apply creative solutions to those problems and opportunities to enhance people's lives or to enrich society. Entrepreneurship is creativity and innovation. From creativity to innovation, entrepreneurship, creativity is thinking new things. Innovation is doing new things. Entrepreneurship, creating value in the marketplace. Creativity and entrepreneurs. Creativity is the ability to develop new ideas and discover new ways of looking at problems and opportunities. Innovation is the ability to apply creative solutions and problems and opportunities in order to enhance people's lives to enrich society. Entrepreneurship is the result of disciplined, systematic process of applying creativity and innovation to the needs and opportunities of the marketplace. Entrepreneurs are those who marry their creative ideas with the purposeful action and structure of business. Researchers believe that entrepreneurs succeed by thinking and doing new things in different ways. Summary and conclusion, the change is that entrepreneurs bring about through creativity and innovation. Therefore, it's not surprising to see entrepreneurs are among the more creative and innovative players of the organizational change. Creativity requires someone like entrepreneur to add value to the marketplace through innovative process. From the idea generation to successful product development and launch, innovation is a seedbed for change. Change is the coordination of a innovation process are the entrepreneurs. Its job of entrepreneurs to creative is identifying the gap in the market and innovate a product to fill the gap. Here's a successful entrepreneur's case study. Shevket Nadar. Shevket Nadar is the founder of HCL, the Hindustan Computers Limited. He's known as the father of India's IT industry, native of Molazai village in Tuikurun district in Tamil Nadu. He went to PSG, College of Technology in Coimbatore, and that was the graduation. In 1968, he moved to Delhi, where he worked as an engineer with DMC. His dream was to stand up his own company to manufacture computer in India. History. To raise the fund, initially, he floated a company called Microcop Limited to sell scientific calculators. He ventured along with 5 of his friends, Arjun, Mata, Sabesh, Arora, Ajay, Kadure, D.S. Puri, and Gush Valley. He received support from the Uttar Pradesh government to set up their own manufacturing unit in Noida. Mr. Nadar founded the HCL in 1976 with a dream of making personal computers. After the expansion of the business, Mr. Dinar he decided to increase the demand of IT education and computer training. In 1981, he set up the NIT to impact high-quality education. In 1991, the HCL entered partnership with the HP Hewlett-Packard to form the HCL HP LDTD. History. Looking beyond the PCs, the HCL tied up with Nokia for distributing cell phones and with Ericsson for distributing watches. In 1996, the HCL became the enterprise, which comprises computers listed in India, the HCL Technologies, and the HCL Innoform Systems. HCL has been managing orders at India's National Stock Exchange. In the mid-90s, the HCL Automotive, the NSE, across 261 cities through the network of 3,000 tiny satellites. HCL has involved with the making of Boeing of the 787 Dreamliner. Navad Nadar is a member of the Executive Board of India's School of Business, the ISB, Hyderabad, and he founded the SSS College of Engineering with Chennai, which is a former institute in India. The HCL Info Systems leadership initiatives, they gave the country's first desktop PC in 1976. India's first branded PC is Busy Bee in 1985. Beanstalk was launched in 1995 by HCL. HCL gave India's first Pentium 4-based PC, sub at the 40,000 price mark. They also boost providing India's first media center PC. Today, HCL offers is research and development, technology services, enterprise and application consulting, promote infrastructure management, BPO, IT hardware, system integration, and technology and telecom product. Rewards. In 2008, the India government awarded Nadar with the Padma Bhushan, the 3rd highest civil award in his contribution of IT industry. In 2007, Madras University awarded him with a doctorate degree, Doctor of Science, for his contributions in promoting the software technology. Nadar is also recognized as the E&Y Entrepreneur of the Year in 2007 on services. 1995, he became the DataQuest IT Man of the Year. In 2005, he was bestowed as the CNBC Business Excellence Award. In 2006, he received honorary fellowship of All India Management Association, AIMA. In 2008, he's honored as the Government of India with Pujaba. In 2009, he was counted as among the Forbes 48 Heroes of Philanthropy of the Asian Pacific. And in 2010, he received the DataQuest Lifetime Achievement Award. Nadar is a successful entrepreneur. Mr. Nadar and his team have proven to the technological expertise, the ability to scale up with operations, or the confidence to manage a big and critical assignment without a hitch. The HCL today is a conglomerate with 4.1 billion. The staff strength is about 47,000 in 17 countries, more than 500 global clients. Shah Nadar has all the reasons to be proud of his feat. He wouldn't be satisfied though. Thank you. All right, everybody, don't forget to do your discussion and write a summary of this. Bye.